that tech came from the supply chain. So that tech was originally about 2015 when they started the next gen stats. That tech came from our friends over at Zebra Technologies, right? So the Zebra, printer guys now have gone out to like acquire a bunch of things, but they're the first ones that started to do the tag part of it. Obviously AWS on the analytics side. And now they're putting those tags in the shoulder pads and in the helmets of all the players. So the interesting thing about like the intersection between football and supply chain is that tech came from the supply chain space. Yeah.
So the Packers last year were 11-6. I think both of you said 11, 10-7 or 11.
I think we both said in on the wild card. I think we said in on the wild card. Yeah.
So impressive. A lot of people.
Are we recording?
A lot of people say how impressive that was.
If only we could do global economy as accurately.
Yeah. Also, I just want to talk about this for 1 second because it's football related, but most people don't really realize this. I did a speech in Green Bay. I was talking about supply chain. That NFL next gen stats, all that next gen stuff that tech came from the supply chain. So that tech was originally about 2015 when they started the next gen stats. That tech came from our friends over at Zebra Technologies, right? So the Zebra, printer guys now have gone out to like acquire a bunch of things, but they're the first ones that started to do the tag part of it. Obviously AWS on the analytics side. And now they're putting those tags in the shoulder pads and in the helmets of all the players. So the interesting thing about like the intersection between football and supply chain is that tech came from the supply chain space.
Cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. And then you did that speech and you got to have dinner.
I had dinner with the president of the Green Bay Packers. Yeah. What a nice guy.
It's a small place.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I'll give you the picture. You can show it now.
You're rubbing elbows.
Now.
You're rubbing elbows in high places.
Yeah, that was fun. He's a terrific gentleman. He was a great sport because I kind of made fun of him a little bit during my speech. I thanked him, but also kind of made fun of him a little bit. And he was laughing and enjoying that. What a great guy. What a unique place. I mean, where else on earth can you go and, have a beer, or sit down for a dinner with the president of the NFL team? Jerry's not doing that. Jerry doesn't know me. So anyway, but the Packers are in a unique spot. My prediction is, I mean, if you looked at the odds are sitting right now at roughly the same for the defensive lineman in the draft or another cornerback. So I'm thinking that they're gonna take a defensive lineman, probably edge rusher as one of their first picks, as their first pick, and the second one will be cornerback, and then I think they're going to take wide receiver on day 2, right? So that'll be in the second or third round. That's kind of my opinion of things. I think there will still be 3 NFC North teams in the playoffs next year. But I am.
You think they'll do a 3-team repeat?
I don't think it's necessarily going to be the same 3 teams. I think Chicago. I love the coach that they got from Detroit is great. He did a great job by pulling in during.
Do you think the Vikings fall off?
I think the Vikings fall off, and I think that Chicago was in because he immediately said, "Okay, we got to do something about this line," because they brought the new quarterback in last year, and he was running all over the place trying to survive. And luckily he's mobile because he would just been crushed. So they did a good job reinforcing their O-line, and so they've got some good picks this year. So I think that the Lions, Packers, and Bears are in, and I think the Packers will be in as a wild card,
like second in the division.
Yeah.
11-6, second in the division.
So just about the same.
Yeah.
Do you know last year?
And then they'll go through the wild card.
Yeah, I think they won't be one and done this year. I think they'll get it to the second. Yeah, they'll go in the second round. Yeah.
The Packers were 1-5 in the division.
Yes, I'm painfully aware that they were 1-5 because because that's all I heard from the Bears fans. Well, the yeah, the Packers didn't show up for those. Well, actually, Detroit and Minnesota were both good teams. Detroit very good, Minnesota very lucky, and so I think that that's. But they in both of those matchups they showed up for one game and didn't show up for the other, right? And they played well against both teams one game and just didn't show up for the other. So in the case of the Lions or the Bears, that was just a disastrous last game.
Then the real question is what happens to the Eagles?
I don't know. So last year I was very non-committal. I said 15-2 or 2-15. So
Yeah, that was a crappy response. That was like, I know. Wait, you lost that there. You lost that 6'9" offensive lineman, though, or whatever he was. Was it, or it was a defense? Yeah. He was only there, but he played really well. He was a massive spot to just try and get around. Right?
Eagles O-line coach is Jeff Stoutland, and I don't know if you see on TikTok or whatever, they call it Stoutland University. That this guy knows how to turn, good talent into great offensive.
Obviously, because he was there for 1 year and got a massive deal, and the coach held him off with $1 gazillion.
Plays Jason Kelsey with willingness, and then he.
Oh yeah, that was amazing, right?
Yeah, so they lean on him and they keep growing linemen. They should be okay. They'll be okay for sure. So what I didn't know last year until the end of the season was, the Eagles. I don't know if you guys knew this. The Eagles were the youngest team in the league.
I think I knew that. Really? So the Packers were the second youngest, I think.
Yeah, Packers, I think, were second youngest. Yep.
Yeah.
But they arguably had the best draft in the history of the franchise.
Yeah, they did.
To pick out two cornerbacks that played at almost all pro level, both of them.
Yeah, really. I'm still mad about that Dejean because I was like, okay, we were talking about this pre-draft and it said both because I was watching the draft line and it said both the Packers, and the Eagles really had their eye on Cooper Dejean. It's just a matter of like which one pulled the trigger first, and he fell a little bit further than people thought, and then you guys swooped him up, right? So yeah, remade him. Yeah,
I think the Eagles are going to trade for Rodgers and
yeah. Ride the Rogers train all the way down.
guys ride it right poison pill.
Yeah, exactly. That is so poison pill. Well, it'd be interesting what the Steelers do with that because the Steelers are still sitting like, oh,
Around Mike Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers.
this would be such great drama, though. It would be like, can you imagine them? Because they both got those, eyes like, Rodgers like shooting his eyes over at his receivers and Tomlin shooting his, nasty look over at Rodgers. And it'd be awesome. It'd be awesome television. So I think they should do it. But hey, like put it down. What's your
I think they go back to Super Bowl. I think they go back. Okay, whether they win, who knows? But like, I do think they go back.
They got to be at the top. Yes, they are. They are.
Totally. Barkley's still healthy. Hurst had a great year. If those rookies get another year under their belt, so they haven't lost any. I mean, they lost some players like any Super Bowl team, but I think they go back. I don't know. They got a lot of talent.
Okay. Fly, Eagles, fly.
That's right. And they're playing at Green Bay this year.
Yeah.
So we'll have something to talk about next year.
We'll have a special podcast episode from Green Bay.
It's terrible.
Horrible.
They played resume.
Yeah, that was nasty.
All right. Last question. How the heck are they going to fit 250,000 people in Green Bay for the draft next week?
Oh,
yeah. I was there this week. So they, the corner of Oneida, which is sort of the cross street. So it's Lombardi where the stadium's on, and Oneida is the first cross street that you hit. So they basically taken that whole area and built a big stage there and stuff. So they're making that whole, now hopefully it doesn't snow or something because the weather's been horrible up there. But so yeah, it is Green Bay. So they created a big stage, right, in the covered area, and so I don't know how they're going to do it from, there's like hotels for like 6 people in Green Bay. So I don't know what, how they're going to do that.
Airbnbs, like
Yeah, that's what I was talking to. I was talking to some of the people that I was visiting with at the university there, and they said a lot of people are basically putting out their house and being get the heck out of Dodge for a weekend, and They've done a nice job in Green Bay increasing the amount of hotel space, but it's nowhere near, it doesn't even cover the home games, which is like home games are only 80,000, right? They're expecting 200,000 at during, I don't know if that's like,
Well, and even a home game of the 80,000, there's probably half of them are locals.
yeah, no, it's true, right?
Right.
Yeah. And the Milwaukee games, right? People are traveling up, but I went to that game with you and I had to go because I decided to late. I had to go all the way down to Oshkosh to find a hotel, right? Which is 50 miles. Those of you who don't know Wisconsin, it's 50 miles south. So, yeah, Green Bay is not
Elimination.
ideal. Oshkosh, Bagosh. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. So
Yeah.
love the NFL.
Yep.